Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to today's webinar, which is about the Request2Action project, and in particular we are here to hear about some of the work being done across the EU on retrofit action hubs. So we have a number of partners from different EU countries that are giving presentations today, and the agenda is as follows. So I will do a quick introduction to the Request2Action project, looking at the background, challenges and lessons, and then we will in turn hear from a number of the hub developers in different countries. So as you can see, we'll hear from Italy, then Greece, then Belgium, Portugal, UK and Austria before I finish with some remarks and closing. Just to say that as we go through, if any of the attendees in the audience would like to answer a question, then you can type in a question and we'll aim to answer them at the end of each presentation. And the webinar is also being recorded, so will be available later on YouTube, via the Request2Action website, and also via email. We'll also hope to send a PDF version of the presentation to you with a link to the Request2Action video, which provides a summary. So just to give some background on the project has operated across 9 EU countries. In addition to the countries I've already mentioned, it includes Netherlands, Poland and Slovakia. And it's concentrated on how data for energy performance certificates and other data can be used to promote home energy efficiency. Request2Action involves pilot projects focused on the following areas: monitoring the uptake of EPC recommendations, enhancing self-assessment advice for householders, i.e. how much can I save in my home, providing effective data from EPCs to different organisations and companies who need to understand the energy saving opportunity in their country or region, and developing national hubs that make data available and provide other relevant information and link to the supply chain and demand side stakeholders. A national hub is, which I've mentioned a few times now, is an information platform, essentially a one-stop shop for information on home energy performance that is available to multiple stakeholders, including homeowners, supply chain and policymakers. So what have been some of the challenges and lessons that we've learned through the project? Well, the hubs so far have been positively received and are helping to develop stakeholders' understanding of available data and how it can be beneficial. But some of the sort of challenges, the time taken to develop and launch hubs is often longer than anticipated, and organisations should therefore plan accordingly. Time delays come from a number of sources, including required legislation changes, i.e. for example in Scotland we had to work with the Scottish Government to try and make some changes to the legislation to enable certain data to be available to certain stakeholders. The complexity of IT systems, often if you're doing cloud-based computing or on a server, it's understanding how complex that might be and what impact that might have on your wider organizational IT systems. General organization changes can add in some complexities as well, so both in IT and in leadership. And procurement can often be more complex and time-consuming than expected, thinking about procuring contractors, if there are changes to overall approach to procurement, how that might impact your procurement for a particular project. So all of these things can be factors that cause delays in developing the hubs and should be considered and factored in when planning. Okay, so there I've given you some background on the project and some of the challenges that we've faced over the course of the project, and now it's time to hear about some of the hubs that have been developed and launched. And the first one that we're going to hear about is in Italy, and I'm going to hand over to Isidora Costanzo from Enea, who's going to talk to us about the work they've done in Italy. And over to you, Isil.
Thank you, Joan. Good morning, everybody. I'm Isilda Costanzo, working for the Energy Efficiency Unit in the National Italian Energy Agency. The energy agency already had a dedicated website to energy efficiency, but a national hub focusing on building renovation was lacking at the beginning of the action. So at that time, we consulted a series of key stakeholders that welcomed the new hub. So during the Request2Action, we developed a knowledge platform and a new hub providing information, that is standards, technologies, incentives, resources, news is being constructed. Of course, the hub will also provide for methodologies that are for software, design, planning, and monitoring of energy efficiency in buildings to different targets that are citizens, professionals and enterprises, and local authorities. But first of all, the one-stop shop, the first Italian one-stop shop for building renovation that is being built under the Request2Action project, wants to be a hub giving easier and more detailed access to data on the building stock. So we developed two data tools that provides more insight of priorities, opportunities, and benefits of energy renovation. Just going to the next slide. Okay. The first tool is a home energy check for citizens called For eCasa. So don't know why it doesn't go. It is basically a simple test that promotes retrofit to the consumer, telling him or her how much energy the home needs compared to a benchmark and what to do to make it more efficient and low carbon. The consumer is asked to register to fully take advantage of the functionalities of this home energy check. The registration form also asks for EPC and retrofit information. So the consumer is asked if he's already got an EPC and what's the ID number, or if he already accessed the national incentives, or is he willing to retrofit his home in the next future. With a few inputs on the location, age, floor area, the building typology, and the heating and domestic hot water system, and measure the consumptions, the consumer can then calculate how much his home consumes compared to the benchmark. So you get the comparison, and then you can discover how to improve it. You can choose the possible energy efficiency improvement measures that are given you here. So, for example, replacement of the existing heating system, or interventions on the building envelope. And you get an overview of potential benefits after the renovation. So you have a summary of the situation before, and you have the overview of the benefits after the renovation. So basically, what changed in terms of new consumptions, but also back, you have a qualitative rating about the energy and cost savings and the complexity of the works that you chose. The other tool is targeting the local authorities, and it's an integrated database for energy planning of building districts. The aim of these tools are to support, it's a support system for analysis and decision making on the sustainability of the building stock. Basically, it is targeted to local authorities to enhance planning and monitoring by identifying priority and improvement areas. But it can also be useful for private actors like trade associations, enterprises, ESCOs, to establish marketing and business strategies. Which we have done, we built a first prototype of this tool that can be replicated for different regions. I have to give a little introduction to the situation of EPCs in Italy. In Italy, the responsibility for EPCs is delegated to region, and existing independent control and accreditation systems are managed by a few regions and autonomous districts. A couple of regions are already engaging in modeling data derived by the EPC for policy making and for enhancing the quality of the renovation supply chain. And the uptake of energy efficiency measured is monitored through the 65% tax deduction scheme, which is our national incentive scheme for building renovation. So we built this prototype, which is basically an integrated database and a tool gathering different databases with territorial building energy data, both top-down and bottom-up data, and they have been aggregated at municipal level for the Lombardy region. The tools resulted in easy-to-interpret output formats available on the website that are a GIS, and also we provided the region with an Excel tool. In this way, the local authorities can have access to a standardized and a targeted analysis of the building stock in their territory. In this picture, you can see the different data sets that have been integrated. First of all, the data census from last census is in 2011, which are flats or technical systems or social and data on different on population and buildings. We have also integrated the EPC database from the Lombardy region with all the dates coming from the EPC, which are available in the Senate open data system. It is to be said that the Lombardy region has got unique open data of all the EPCs. There are almost 2 million. That is the hugest and the highest rate of EPCs compared to the building stock, which is 1/3 of the building stock. And we also integrated market data, that is bottom-up data, coming from the national incentives managed by Enea, which is the percentage of installations made on the building envelope or the technical building systems like glazing, walls, solar, thermal, and so on, available at municipal level. But of course, in this system of 3 integrated databases, other data sets are, can be added. First of all, the data from inspection of heating and air conditioning systems, but also other data on RES and surveys data. And the in-house company of the Lombardy region already committed and were available to integrate the system in a later, in the next future. So what do you have on the website? You have a GIS accessible, both in a standard analysis format, so the local authorities and the region can choose the province of the region. The Lombardy region has got 12 provinces, and according to easier to interpret categories that are indicators that we built on the whole amount of data of the database, they can see their province and look in detail the indicator visualized according to that indicator. You can also access web GIS when where you can zoom and see the details for each single municipality. And of course, you can cross-reference different indicators. The indicators, for example, that can be crossed are the dwellings and EPCs by age of the building, crossed with what retrofit has actually been done and what installation have been done in the municipality, for example, on solar thermal or biomass or condensing boilers and so on. This system can give the priority areas where to act, and can give somehow a comparison between the different territories. The region was also provided with an Excel tool where they can make queries combining all the 70 variables, and they can and the system can generate output pivot tables in order the region can perform their own customized analysis, getting some tables for further GIS and evidence-based analysis. What is the usefulness of this tool for local authorities? First of all, while developing the tool, we removed the redundancy and systematic mistakes by comparing and aggregating the data. We generated easier to interpret categories, indicators, and visualization, because the evidence-based analysis is the analysis people prefer, and we had feedback on this by different stakeholders, regions, and local authorities engaged during the development of the pilot. And the system provides for new analysis, for example, the consistency of buildings with an EPC, links between age, typology, retrofit, average building energy performance, and energy performance class. Of course, I'm talking about the average at municipal level. But also, the system can facilitate programs, building stock programs like voluntary EPC and audits programs, or, for example, programs for penetration of energy efficiency and renewable technologies, or investment in the energy renovation. Which are the barriers or opportunities for a wider replication of the system to other regions? We are already replicating this experience with the region for which we manage the EPC database, which is a minor region. But for the other regions, the barriers are the data availability and quality and consistency. We already said that the Lombardy region is a model region in this sense. And of course, in replicating the experience, the barrier can be the lack of resources in case this targeted elaboration is not paid by third parties. Which are the opportunities on the contrary? The recent legislation in Italy harmonized the EPC scheme and established the CIEP, which is a central EPC database, which is an information system of EPCs coming from regions. The regions will transfer their EPCs by an XML format, and the ENIA will manage all the data coming from regions who already manage their EPC system, which are 15 out of 21. So what are the developments for the future and the stakeholder engagement? We already said that we performed a wide consultation of stakeholders, and some of them committed in supporting the development of these tools, the hub and also the data tool system. Moreover, the Retrofit hub will be included in the National Communication Program according to the implementation decree of the ED, and notably Article 12 on information campaigns. Some trades unions, professional associations, or research institutes already committed to provide information on best practices about techniques, products, deep renovation, and nearly zero energy buildings to enrich the content of the Retrofit Hub, but also local authorities and agencies, academies and utilities recently made available to share integrated planning and modeling methodologies and the policy best practices. So thinking of the Retrofit Hub as a networking tool, also to exchange best practice and knowledge. As for the data tool, we already signed a gentleman agreement. The ILSPA, the Lombardian In-House Society, which participated and collaborated in the pilot, are using the data set and also are available to integrate it in the future, but also 5 more regions and the UNESCO Association are interested in further application of the dependent tool of the integrated database in other territories. Moreover, the dependent tool will be integrated in a future regions platform, which is linked to EPC data and data coming from heating and air conditioning system inspection. That is being constructed owing to the availability of more and more data and big data in air. So I really thank you for your attention, and I'm available for any question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Isilda, and thanks for sharing all the excellent work you've been doing in Italy. Looking at our question pane, I don't think we have any questions that I can see. So we will move on to the next presentation. And having heard from Isilda in Italy, we're now going to go across to Greece and hear from Andreas, who is going to talk to us about the work they've done with their Greek Energy Hub for All. Over to you, Andreas.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andreas Androutsopoulos from the Center of Renewable Energy Sources and Saving, and I will be presenting the Greek Energy Hub we developed. So the idea was first to be able to come up with something really interesting for the general public, and to be able to serve mainly as a marketplace and connect demand and supply side actors. Being also conceived as a meeting place for changing of information, changing of knowledge related to energy renovation of buildings, and a knowledge platform for all the interested actors at this part of the market. Finally, a monitor platform for refurbishment activities in the Greek area. So the aim of our Energy Hub for All is to be a tool that can actually achieve to increase the trust and to establish a good reputation for the energy performance certificate recommendations, and of course also among and be able to link in a better way the building owners, the potential tenants, and other market actors. It has a vast information related to many features, and we expect to extend it even more. The website, you can have a look at it, it's the www.energyhubforall.eu, and this is also our logo, and we can go through the first and main page of the Energy Hub for All. It's mainly information given related to the actual happenings for energy efficiency in buildings, but then we proceed with information related to energy performance of buildings, with information related to the nearly zero energy buildings, information related to the energy performer certificates, at least the Greek ones, related information about tradespeople and products which are very, very important in energy renovation activities. Funding is another place that it is a very important feature for us. So the financing of such activities is very important. So it's also very important to be as many information that could be given on both national and European level. And finally, the news are everything that has to do on a national scale or also in a European scale related to activities for energy efficiency in buildings. So going forward, the information are in a drop-down menu related, for example, for the energy efficiency in buildings. There are information related to the building stock, information related to energy consumption of buildings, about the potential and the opportunities achieving energy savings, and of course all the related regulations both on a national and European level. For example, the energy performance certificates, there are many data statistics given related to the residential sector, and you can also find and follow the number of EPCs, their categories, where in how well or bad are the EPCs in specific areas, and what are that has been achieved if specific national programs were followed in order to increase the energy category of residential house, for example. The tradespeople is an important other feature of the hub, in which we can find all the certified persons related to very specific activities. For example, for solar thermal systems, for heating and cooling systems, geothermal heat pumps are included, for example, for thermal insulation products, for window systems, and of course for glazing alone. All this information is gathered and is given in a nice way so that you can find, particularly in your area, which is the most appropriate persons you can go and ask for such kind of renovation activities. The funding, as I said before, is an important feature for us. So we have placed much information there related to on a national level, what kind of programs, regional programs, or even operational programs exist. On a European level, related programs for technical assistance, for research and innovation, European territorial cooperation programs. Also, information like, for example, for the Inter-Med program, structural and investment funds, what kind of financial support it can be found, so from structural and investment funds like the ESF, for example, and national funds like the Green Greek Fund. Also, initiatives like the measures of inaction, the initiative for the sustainable energy action for islands or smart cities, for example. Much more information can be given and also can be led to even more information. Another feature of the hub is the home energy check tool, whose ambition is to be very easily used and provide with important information so that the user actually can finally implement the EPC recommendations and achieve what else? Energy savings. So you can see the first page of that tool and also the link. You are more than welcome to use it. It's in Greek, however. So you actually give all the necessary input, very simple and very easy to do, so that you can come up with the original energy category of your house, and then by changing that according to 9 very important energy categories, and you can come up with a better solution, saying that how much money you have, how much energy you have saved, how much CO2 emissions you have saved, and an idea of what this will cost you. You have also the opportunity to download it in a report so that you can keep all this information specifically for your case. Some other things that we have done also in the hub is the latest addition, for example, is the open calls page. It's particularly at the first page and gives all information about the new financial schemes perhaps existing, and the connection of the results part at the HEC tool with the suppliers, so that immediately after you know how much energy you have saved, you can get connected of where to find it. And our future plans is, of course, sustain the hub, add more energy efficient building products, and of course, why not have more supporters, which are another very important feature of the hub. They gave us too much help, and we are expecting from them to be as helpful as they were in the beginning, even in the future. We have also a Facebook address, which has up to now 123 likes, and some statistics about the hub. It was launched in December 2015, and until last May, it had approximately 8,000 unique visitors and more than 44,000 pages hit. And the official supporters are mainly associations and companies, technical magazines, and the Ministry of Energy and Environment in Greece. Our purpose is, of course, to increase that number to the best possible way. And that was generally about the Greek Hub. I would like to thank you for your attention, and any information you may need, you can contact me or the Buildings Department of Press. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Andreas. And I can confirm that we haven't had any questions during the presentation. So we can move swiftly on to our next presentation. And so leaving Greece, we are now going to go to Virginia Gomez in Belgium, and she's going to talk to us about the good work they've been doing there. Over to you, Virginia.
Thank you very much, John, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Virginia Gomez. I'm working for the Smart Energy and Vito Environment Department at Vito, the Flemish Research Institutes. And I'm going to talk to you about the city portal and the Put Your Home in the Map, the two components of the Belgian hub that we have developed within Request2Action. So initially, we started thinking about the hub quite some time ago because we saw that there was a niche in the market, at least in the Flemish market, in the northern region of Belgium. And therefore, we wanted to combine the behavioral models that we have in our group, some other building data coming from existing data sets or other types of data as new thermographical cameras pictures. We also have developed in our team some information about upgrading measures and the costs, as well as the energy performance and financial models for building renovation. We also wanted to include real-time data and energy consumption data to compile a hub that could be used for local governments, contractors, and also suppliers. While exploring the possibilities of how to build this hub, how to make it useful for all the stakeholders, we in the face-to-face discussions, then it became clear that we will develop it in phases, and therefore we started using our information that we have available and also some energy consumption data to make a hub especially useful for local governments and suppliers in a first phase, and we will address contractors' part in a second stage. So as I mentioned already, the Belgian hub has two components. The first part is called the set your unit of the card, or put your home into the map. This is an open website questionnaire for households where we ask information regarding the building status, intention of renovation, and family composition. Afterwards, the consumer receives a consumption benchmark, so he can see whether he is consuming more or less than the same house in the same family composition. I will show some examples later on. The second part of the hub is a city portal. This is a restricted website, only available for local governments and suppliers at this moment. And this is a GIS map, a visualization website, where all the information that was collected via the questionnaire is shown to the users of this hub, but also there are other geographical and geometrical information that we have available that has been included already in this view. This visualization, and we'll also show some examples later on, is useful for the stakeholders for monitoring the building stock, to monitor also their targets on the covenant of mayors, and also to promote collective renovations. So what are the current users? As I mentioned, is the local government. For example, we have a first pilot with the city of Genk in Flanders, wherein they launched in March 2017 the set your warning of the card for themselves, for Genk city, and we have currently up to 60 users of this questionnaire. And on the other hand, the two DSO distribution system operators, regional system operators of Flanders, EANDIS and Infrax, have launched their own hubs within the Benoveren campaign. The Benoveren campaign is a renovation campaign promoted by the Flemish government. So EANDIS launched it in mid-April, and so far we have more than 4,700 users of it. And Infrax, it was launched a bit later at the beginning of June, and we count with more than 700 users. So yeah, I will show here some slides, some pictures of the set your warning of the card, of put your home into the map. This is what the household fills in. So it's a questionnaire of 4 steps, where first they have to select their type of housing, and afterwards they have a simple non-technical questions related to the status of their home, regarding how the roof, the envelope, which type of heating system they have, which type of windows, and whether they already installed some renewable system. But as I said, we try to keep the threshold very low for the household, so there are no technical information requested. They can also include whether they are already thinking on some type of renovations. And the last step is here, where they include the type of family, so how many inhabitants there are, whether they are renting or owning the apartment, the housing, and they include also their energy consumption for gas, electricity, and oil in kilowatt hours per year or euros per year. In case that they are owners of the home, we also ask some information regarding when they bought the housing, whether it is their first property, and more or less how old they are. This is also asked in ranges, not specific information. Then afterwards, they have to complete their their address, the address of the property, and if they send us the email address, they receive an email with the comparison, to the link to their comparison. So this is here, you can see an example here, where, for example, the electricity consumption here was the case of a very good consumption for this type of family and building, and we indicate in which range of the histogram they are located. That's for electricity and gas, and oil in case that they fill it in as well. So that was for the open part, the visualization, the questionnaire for the household. The restricted area for the government and suppliers, we started the website with, of course, a login because we give very much importance to data privacy, and not every stakeholder is allowed to see all types of information. So with the login, we ensure that everyone is only seeing the information they have the right to see. So this is the first view of the visualization page or the city portal, and you see the buildings with information are colored already in red, green, and orange. And then this is because we do a categorization of the properties according to the information filled in. So a bad building will be a building where all the any type of renovation measure will be financially advisable for the owner, for the owner to take. And you can see here, you can select all types of maps that you can visualize. So you can see all the status related to roof, envelope, windows, heating, renewable installations, and also renovations intentions, as well as the property characteristics. Apart from what I wanted to add here is that also there are some queries that you can add into the map visualization. So when selecting one of these maps, you can also filter in the list here below, so you will see the selected information. The user can also select some areas where then some statistics will appear according to the map that they are seeing and the selected area. And also when you click in one specific building, you receive all the information, specific information of that building. In the case that there is a multi-apartment building, then there is a pattern that you can see in each of the buildings with several entries of information, and when selecting on it, you can have access to the specifics of each of the dwellings in this building. Finally, the user can also define some districts. That's the area of Flanders, and for example, we have selected here the provinces of Flanders to afterwards see the specifics on the statistics also per district. So apart from the visualization page, there is also a statistics tab where you can see the specific information for a district, the selected area, and also information based on time according to how the information was inputted in the dataset. The user can also download all these statistics on an Excel file with pivot tables as well, so that they can treat the information further. So that's what the status of the Belgian hub is right now. But of course we continue working on it right now and also further after the finalization of the project. We plan to expand the hub to make it available also to constructors, and there will be some more marketing actions taken to promote the hubs. So far, the marketing actions has been very restricted, because they want to link the use of the hub by the users with the renovation campaigns that will come in the fall of this year. So further marketing actions and further users are expected in the fall of this year. We are also working, of course, on including other data that will be useful for the users, as the thermographic pictures that will be taken by some of the Flemish cities, and we are also exploring the possibilities to include information on solar potential per roof. That is, this is information now owned by the Flemish Energy Agency. And last but not least, we will also link this hub with other Vito tools that are available, especially one which delivers online tailor-made renovation advice, so that the user, when completing the questionnaire, will receive also not only the comparison with the energy consumption, but also some advices on renovation measures and also the financial impacts on that. Well, I thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions, if any.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. Okay. We have one, just trying to read what it says. What is, okay, this is from Xavier Loncourt. What is the interest for a single owner to provide the information related to his house?
Sorry, John, could you repeat the question? What is that?
Yeah. So the question is, and this might be for all hubs and countries really, but the question is, what is the interest for a single owner to provide the information related to his house?
Yeah, that's a very good question. For the case of the Belgian hub, it may seem a bit low, the benefit for giving the information, just receiving the energy comparison, but the owner has to see it, the long-term benefits. So this information is then available for the policymakers and the distribution system operators, who will then tailor-make their renovation campaigns and subsidies. So actually, the information is not, the added value is not directly visible for the household, because it will come later on in form of subsidies or specific policies regarding the situations of the building stock.
Okay, great, thank you. There are no further questions at this stage, so I think we'll move on to the next presentation. And having heard from Virginia and Belgium, we are now going to invite Rui Fragoso from Portugal to talk about the work they've done there, or the work they're doing with their hub, and I'll hand over to you now.
Thank you, John. Good morning, all. It's a great pleasure to be here at this webinar, and hopefully you will enjoy the development that we have been doing on the Portuguese Retrofit hub. The hub is now in development, but I would say that most of the work that supported the development of the hub started already 10 years ago, when we implemented the energy performance certification, basically coming from the first EPBD version already in 2007. We had a chance to go through a recast of that EPBD in 2010, and in 2013 we revised the building energy performance certification system. Now that we have gone over 10 years, we decided that we needed also to provide additional tools for the different stakeholders, and now something new is coming in 2017. But what happened in the last 10 years of the building certification? We have more or less 20% of the building stock certified. Of that, 90% are residential buildings, but nevertheless we still have some good numbers on public buildings and big non-residential that are already certified. We also have around 2,000 qualified experts that work on field collecting evidences and information, and we have also achieved a relevant number of 2 million improvement measures identified, which also identified quite an investment in possible savings from implementing those measures. And the database currently has around 150 million entries. We're talking about up to 300 variables per building that are differentiated according to different categories, like you can see in the slides. The energy certification system has also been used for different situations. Basically, the first one to inform citizens about their homes, but also to evaluate the building stock, to monitor national policies, also to estimate the financial impact from improving the building stock, provide support to access to financial incentives. The database is also used to support research and development, and it's being used right now at the moment to predict the impact of future legislation, especially concerning nearly zero energy buildings. The database is also supporting real estate agencies to get access to specific information, and also local authorities concerning specifically municipalities. Nowadays, we also have financial incentives based on the EPCs for the best energy performance buildings, or those that improve at least 2 labels. And we are also having an idea about the impact on buildings transaction prices concerning the energy performance classes. But we wanted to go beyond and try to answer to a couple of questions: how to provide detailed information to consumers about their homes, how to raise confidence to promote improvement in homes, how to connect demand and supply sides, or how to monitor the uptake of improvement measures. And so that's why we are developing the Portuguese hub, which is called Portal Casa Mais in Portugal. And basically, we can say that this is a place where there's more information about a specific home, or a place to transform your home into an A+ home. And how does it work? Basically, if you are an owner or a tenant, and if you have an energy performance certificate, you will have a specific number for your house. With that specific number, you can have access to specific and tailored information about your house. This is also a way to connect different stakeholders in one place, mainly consumers, experts, and energy efficiency companies. And if we try to evaluate the potential of engagement for these 3 stakeholders, we can see that for consumers, we're talking more or less about 4 million families that can have access to their specific home. We have already 1 million homes on the residential sector certified, but we do also have another 5 million homes without an EPC, and this will also be interesting to connect to the experts. Like I referenced, we have around 2,000 highly qualified experts that can also be engaged, and of course energy efficiency companies. We're talking about thousands of installers concerning different areas: insulation, windows, ventilation, heating, cooling, domestic hot water, PV, solar collectors, and others that can be engaged and participate directly on the hub to be contacted by consumers. Well, but in particular, what does it mean for consumers? It will be a way for them to have access to centralized and updated information concerning his house and improve it among relevant information. The consumers will also have the ability to monitor energy and water consumption and compare themselves with other users. They will have direct access to their experts in order to get further assistance about specific measures that they want to implement in their house. They will have the ability to have real-time and automatic recommendations based on the profile or type of existing solutions in his house, and information that he provides also at the hub. You will have access to qualified companies that provide energy efficient solutions, and also have information about finance and incentives that are available during the time. the qualified experts, for them, it will be also a new way to provide advisory services and support for customers. It's a way for them to be contacted by owners, not only to issue an EPC or provide additional necessary technical support for those consumers. It will also be a way for them to monitor the work that they are doing. Experts will have information about how many recommendations they have identified so far, how many of those raised interest in consumers that has proposals, or how many of those were really implemented, and that will be also a way to bring some relevance to the work of the experts. And also the ability to have this My Expert area where they can have a quick link with between the house owner and the expert as a consultant. For companies, it will be also a way to provide new services, a way to find customers and promote their products. The energy efficiency companies will also have information about the energy performance certificate. We're talking about specific data that the consumer will want to provide to energy efficiency companies for them to know exactly the measures or the detail that were identified by the experts concerning those measures. And also it will be a one-stop shop. We can say it's a unique place as an online market that will allow to connect demand and supply so that we can boost the uptake of the recommendations. But how does it work in practice? From having a user registered to an energy performance measure also updated. Well, we start by a user that registered at a portal. The user then can search for an expert, and if he doesn't have an EPC, he can also issue. He can also issue an EPC. Sorry, allow me to go back. You can also issue an EPC, and at that stage we will have an app user with a certified house. The user can then have access to detailed information about his house. He can add or update information also concerning his appliances, lighting, etc. And the user can ask for proposals for registered companies. At that stage, the user receives several proposals. You can evaluate the context before choosing the best. Is there financial available? Are there insurances available or incentives? Do those companies have extra qualifications? And then at the end, the user decides and informs which company he has chosen. Last, the user can not only update the information he has for his specific house, detailing and boosting the information he has and the qualification about his house, and monitoring also what he has done in order to improve it. But he can also rate how it worked with the company in order to evaluate it, and later on will help other users to have specific ratings about the companies and the quality of their work. Coming to an end, when is it expected? Well, the portal is now being developed. We hope to have it launched and available later in 2017, and we think it will be an added layer of information and tools that will be available not only for consumers but also for experts and energy efficiency companies around the energy performance certification system. And so I conclude. Thanks for your attention, and I'll be glad to have any specific question that you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that, Rui. Thank you for your presentation, and good to hear about some more interesting work being available. So we do have a couple of questions for you, Rui. The first is from George Christou, and his question is, how is it used to impact building transaction prices?
We do have already some studies being developed, not only in Portugal but all over Europe, but in Portugal, some specific companies that study several data coming from the energy performance system and also the transaction prices have also identified a correlation between the asking prices and the energy performance certificates. So what we can see right now at the moment is that there is an impact on transaction prices concerning the energy label. That's relevant. The there's no specific figures for how much in percentage that will improve, although we do have them, but that they vary a lot according to different types of variables. But we basically do that providing information to some entities that requested in order to combine with other data and come up to these conclusions.
Okay, thanks for that, Rui. And the second question for you is from Sophia Silva, and you partially answered this, but just so you can kind of reiterate what you said. When will the hub be available?
Okay, the hub is currently being developed. We launched the tendering process. It was a public tendering. We are now on the verge of signing the contract with the company that will develop it. We have an idea of about 3 months to develop the hub, and hopefully the end of the third trimester or the end of 2017, we would like to launch it publicly. And definitely, if Sophia is living in Portugal, she will have access to that portal, hopefully in the next 4, 5, 6 months maximum.
Okay, great. And thank you to the audience for those questions. Always good to have some input from the audience to the presentations that they're seeing. Okay, so moving on to our next presentation. So going from Portugal to the UK, and in particular Scotland in the UK, and Will Rivers from the Energy Saving Trust is going to talk to us about the work that has been happening in the UK. Over to you, Will.
Okay, thank you, John. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining us today. So yeah, I'm going to talk you through the Retrofit hub that's been developed in Scotland. So the Energy Saving Trust manages the Energy Performance Certificate Register in Scotland, and we could see that there was a very valuable data source here. There's over 2.5 million dwellings in Scotland, and we hold Energy Performance Certificate data on over 45% of those dwellings now. So that was a very valuable database which wasn't being utilized to drive retrofit action. So we sought through the Request2Action project to make that available to a range of different actors, which I'll talk you through in the hub. I'll just see if I can go to the next slide. Doesn't seem to, there we go. And the next one. So the 4 audiences that we sought out to provide Energy Performance Certificate data to, you can see here, we made available through one website which we call the Local Homes Portal. So we're looking to provide data to householders and tenants, to members of the supply chain, so installers and manufacturers of products, to local authorities, registered social landlords and the Scottish Government, so the kind of public sector users, and also then a separate strand for researchers, charities and community groups. And essentially we saw that each of these audiences had different needs for the data, and also due to the data protection legislations in Scotland, each of these user groups was able to access different levels of data. So this Local Homes Portal is one place where each of these user groups can come and find the tools that are most relevant to them. So I'll just talk you through a few of the examples of what's available for each user group. So for householders and tenants, they can come in, they can see, first of all, information on their home. So if they have an Energy Performance Certificate, they can come to the Local Homes Portal to access it. Maybe if they lost it or they kind of want to see further information on it. Furthermore, they can also, and this is a very popular function, they can look at the average Energy Performance Certificate in their area to see, for example, how their home compares to other houses in the area. And finally, for householders, they can look at different ways in which they can save energy. So we have, as you've seen in some of the other hubs, we have a home energy check tool. Householders can look at the information from their Energy Performance Certificate, enter further details about their home, and look at a range of energy saving options, how much they will cost, how much money they're likely to save on their energy bill, and get a full kind of energy saving report for their home. So those are just some of the things for householders. As I said, the your area function is particularly popular. You can see here a map of Scotland which users can drill down into to look at kind of other energy performance certificates in their area and how their home compares. It's a useful benchmarking tool. Another audience that we were very keen to provide data for in the Request2Action project was the supply chain. So ideally through this project we had wanted to provide data at the address level to the supply chain, because we saw that that would be very useful, for example for installers or energy suppliers, to be able to directly target the houses that were in need of insulation or solar panels or new boilers or this type of thing. Throughout the course of the project, it looked as though the legislation was going to change that we would be able to do that, but then it was deemed that that information was too sensitive to be able to give to the private sector, essentially, and so we weren't able to do that. However, we've still worked with the supply chain and we're able to give them aggregated data on a range of different measures, which you can see here on the right-hand side. So at the aggregated level of around 500 homes, they can look at where there are heavy concentrations of uninsulated cavity walls or uninsulated loft, or properties that are likely to suffer from fuel poverty or have a very kind of low energy performance certificate band. There are companies at the moment trying to target, for example, private rented sector homes that have an F4G rated home, F4G rated energy performance certificate label, as these homes are subject to new legislation in the UK and will need to improve their homes. So hopefully this aggregated reporting will help them to target those homes. I'm just waiting for the slide. Okay, so the group who have by far the greatest level of access to data are local authorities and the Scottish Government themselves. So they can access data at the address level on 100% of the housing stock in Scotland. So I should say here that we've actually kind of done an extra process on the data where, so we have a real energy performance certificate for 45% of homes where a surveyor has actually been into the house to do the EPC. For the other 55% of homes, we've actually used statistical modelling and a range of other data sets that we have to predict the values and predict an energy performance certificate for each of those addresses. So that enables us to provide either real or modelled data on 100% of homes in the area. So this kind of provides a very useful tool for the local authorities who use this very extensively in Scotland to target programs, work with their installers to kind of send them out to exactly the right homes. They can design schemes, apply for funding, and they use it particularly for identifying the homes in greatest need of fuel poverty support. So I'll just show you a few examples here. Here we're looking at a small area in Dundee showing the energy performance certificate bands. So you can quite clearly see in one area towards the middle right there an area of F and G rated homes which the local authority might see and look to kind of target those homes with some kind of activity. So they can see that data for every home in their area. Another map here at a slightly higher scale. So this is looking at fuel type. So as I said, we have fuel type for every property in Scotland, so they can look at, for example, whether there are opportunities to replace some of the electric heating in flats with a communal heating system or some kind of renewable system. So I'll just go through some of the statistics on this. So the hub was launched earlier this year on the 1st of February. By the end of May, we'd had 520 unique visitors to the site. It's currently operating at about 40 sessions per week. The most popular types of activity. So as I said, viewing the EPC neighbourhood map by individual users is popular. The maps for the supply chain have had 172 views. The home energy check is a popular tool with 119. I should point out the home energy check is also available in other sections on the website, so that is used more extensively than that. So yeah, in general, the mapping features of the hub are proving very popular. Mapping and GIS was really a key feature for us in the hub. You know, we saw that it's a much more engaging, intuitive, useful way of providing the data to all users, rather than just some kind of spreadsheet-based or data-based system. So that's what we set out to do. In addition to the numbers on here, I should point out that there are 32 local authorities in Scotland, all of which are now using the data to target their programmes under the Scottish Government's main energy efficiency programme. And so, yeah, we're very happy with the results and what the Request2Action project has kind of helped us to achieve in Scotland. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your time. Back to you, John.
Okay, thank you very much, Will, for the presentation on what's been happening in the UK. And I'm just looking to see if we have any questions for you. Bear with me one second. No, I think there are no questions on the UK presentation, so in which case we can move on to Austria, and here to talk about the work they've been doing in Austria is Nagme Altman, and I will now hand over to you.
Thank you, John. My name is Nagme Altman, and I work for the Austrian Energy Agency in Department for Buildings and Structural Measures. In the project Request2Action, we had also the focus on promoting renovation activities through EPC data, but through a different approach, which I will explain in a little while. At the beginning of the project, we did an extended survey on the European existing monitoring initiatives and how the EPC databases function. We indicated the best practice systems and also the potentials for improvement. You can find the report on the Request2Action website. We saw what is being done in terms of collecting the data available in the EPC databases, for example, carrying out statistical surveys, monitoring the national energy efficiency action plans, and we learned how the EPC databases are connected with other databases to document the retrofit activities and also how they can be used for different market actors such as supply chain. In Austria, this situation varies from region to region. There are 9 regions in Austria. The connection from the national database to available regional databases is not actively used, plus not all regions use or have an EPC database. The databases are partially linked, some are national and some are operated by the regions. This means diverse responsibilities and financing structures. The quality of data collected in the EPC databases varies according to the use of EPC. The retrofit recommendations are not always collected, or the EPC is not always updated in the database after the refurbishment was carried out. The lesson learned after monitoring different initiatives show that a well-functioning EPC system accompanied by an EPC database provides a ready-to-use source of information on the building stock. There is an increasing number of best practices across Europe, which demonstrates the added value of EPC data for policymaking and monitoring. The EPCs can be a useful source of information to benchmark the energy performance of buildings, provided that the meaningfulness of these data is analyzed. The following features were recommendations of the mentioned analysis report and are also the key features for developing the Austrian HEC tool. It means linking the data to other databases, making the data visible and usable for industry and local authorities, and enabling homeowners to use the data and use it to understand what is possible on their home. As an example, here you can see the energy-related databases and their connections in region of Salzburg. The EPC database used in Salzburg is connected to many regional databases, as you can see. The EPCs of the building stock, planned renovation and realized renovation is collected in this database. Even though the subsidy schemes regarding the thermal quality of the buildings in this region is closely related to ClimActive benchmarks, the database is not connected to the ClimActive Building Declaration platform. What is ClimActive and why is it important? ClimActive is the Austrian initiative for climate protection. It concerns the energy efficiency in buildings and businesses, use of renewable sources, and mobility. On the ClimActive platform or hub, the consumer receives information on different energy efficiency techniques and measures, find trades and experienced professionals in the neighborhood or region. And on the ClimActive platform, there is also a database for ClimActive declared buildings for residential and not residential building. Therefore, we decided that the Austrian pilot action should concentrate on making EPC data usable for market actors and homeowners and increasing the quality of refurbishments by connecting existing tools and platforms. Linking existing databases results in benefits for various stakeholders. Linking existing data tool became the Austrian actions in the project Request2Action. Since direct linking one or all EPC databases because of different responsibilities and financing structures, as I said before, was not possible, it was decided to make EPC data usable for the market actors and homeowners by connecting an EPC calculation or advisory tool directly to the ClimActive building database to upload the information available in the EPC. How does the ClimActive declaration work? The quality criteria are checked in 4 categories: location and quality assurance, energy demand and energy supply, construction material, and indoor air quality. If the criteria are met, the building receives a badge, a ClimActive badge in 3 categories: gold, silver, and bronze. Regarding the selection of the best tool, an EPC calculation tool, which is also linked to a tailor-made home energy check tool, was chosen through a call for bids. 90% of the EPCs in the ZEISS database, which is the database used in 4 regions in Austria, are calculated with this tool. How this works? The tool checks the ClimActive basis criteria. The user, in this case the EPC issuer, gets an immediate response if the criteria are met. If they are not met, the user can improve the renovation measures for the building and gets response again. 3 different information sheets can be printed out to inform the building owner, either if the building does not meet the criteria, or it almost meets the criteria, or it meets the criteria. The building owner is also informed about the confirmations which are necessary for the declaration. Such confirmations are, for example, the certificate for airtightness, confirmation of suppliers about ecology of materials and so on. And the information sheet is tailor-made to specific buildings. That means that the picture and the building data out of the EPC are used to automatically produce the information sheet. With one click, the generated data is transferred from the EPC calculation program to the ClimActive declaration platform. The generated data covers 80% of the needed data for the declaration. The benefits for different stakeholders can be summarized as follows. For the market actors like architects, master builders, HVAC designers, and energy consultants, it brings additional attractive service for homeowners and landlords. Little effort for EPC issuer, but high impact, little additional cost for homeowners and landlords, and they get also immediate feedback about the meeting quality criteria and being able to react in an early stage. Benefits for homeowners are that they receive information about feasible high quality measures, receiving a quality award while having low additional costs. The government benefits from the new service. The interface contributes to the acceptance of higher quality and energy efficiency requirements. Grant systems and legislations are oriented towards the ClimActive standard. Efficiency of refurbished buildings increases because the standard is regularly strengthened so that the quality of refurbishment increases with the standard, which results in increasing the quality of the building stock. ClimActive can monitor and report declarations and the quality of the refurbishment buildings to the Austrian Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Environment and Water Management, and that yearly. The analysis of the declared buildings provides insight to actual refurbishments. The developed interface is an independent and open tool which can be adopted by all the EPC calculating programs. This service has a sustainable structure as it is embedded in the long-term climate protection program ClimActive. So it is embedded in an existing financing and stakeholder structure. This new feature has been promoted to almost all EPC issuers through emailing, training, and various fairs and conferences, and we already have received positive feedbacks from the EPC issuers, and we continue to monitor the process. This is all from me. Thank you for your attention, and back to you, John.
Okay, thank you, Nagme, for that presentation. Again, good to see the excellent work that's been happening in Austria. Just looking at my list of questions, there are no questions, so I think we can move on. And just some closing remarks from me. So I think a common thread running through the hubs that we've seen today is that they are trying to bring life to EPC data through the presentation, the visualization of that data and information, trying to make it more meaningful for different stakeholders. But although there's those common threads, I think you can clearly see that each hub is different and has been developed to meet the local context and the local stakeholder needs in each country involved in the project. And I think another thing we're finding as users are using the hubs and they're viewing the data in this context, it's helping them to understand it more, and that in turn helps them to consider further the opportunities that might be available in energy efficiency retrofit, whether that's for the homeowners, for the supply chain, or for local authorities. So if attendees would like to find out more about the Request2Action project, our website is building-request.eu, and from that you can find out more about each of the hubs and find the contacts that you need for your country of interest. I hope that this webinar will be available to attendees and those that registered that couldn't attend following the webinar. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much for attending. I hope all attendees enjoyed today's webinar. I'd like to thank all of the presenters for sharing the work they've been doing on the Request2Action project. And with that, I will end the webinar and say goodbye. And thank you very much.